Welcome to MI Magazine Presents Soul, a weekly entertainment show on fashion, arts and culture, mental health, relationships, travel, and food. Our weekly co-hosts are Carla Hill, Dr. Delvina Thomas, and Chef Irie. Now introducing our host, Miss Nikki Jellin.
Hello, everybody, and happy Hump Wednesday. We are going down the hill, y'all. Welcome to MIA Magazine Presents Soul. I'm your host. I am Nikki G. Nikki says YOLO, and let's get started. So, Mommy Broward Carnival was literally like last weekend. And there were so many pictures and videos and reels and all this stuff. And I didn't attend. I didn't even go. And I kind of regret not going. So my question is, were you there? Were you in a band? How was it? Did I really, really miss out? For those that did not attend, what did we miss? Okay. So drop your comments right here and share your experiences and why we should go next year, perhaps. Also, I have a really deep question that I want to ask y'all. So I was speaking to my girlfriend this weekend, one of my girlfriends, and we were talking about hair. So if you know me, I'm very, very passionate about natural hair, especially type 4 hair, and women of color rocking their natural tresses. So the conversation was, we were talking about baby hairs. So she basically said that Black women who lay their edges, when I say lay their edges, I mean like they're trying to, my edges are kind of laid right now, but you know, they lay it down, you gel it down for it to be really nice and slick and silky. So basically, if you lay your edges, it's still a form of self-hate with not really embracing your natural God-given coils and tresses. So I want to get your opinion. Like, is laying edges really a form of self-hate? I mean, because I don't hate myself and I love how my edges look, but is it kind of embedded within society as far as hair texture and hair texture discrimination and what's considered beautiful? So that's my question to you all. Drop your comments and let me know your thoughts. Now, this show is brought to you by the SWA Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County and the AARP. It's also brought to you by the African American Black Alzheimer's Disease Initiative at the John P. Hussman Institute of Human Genomics, University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. If you are someone that is experiencing loss of memory or memory problems, or if you know someone who has those problems, please contact their research team for more info at 877-686-6444. The number is 877-686-6444. Now let's get the show started. So on to my first co-host. She is our board certified psychiatrist and also the visionary behind the Brain Love podcast. So Miss Dr. Delvina, happy Hump Wednesday. How's it going?
Hey, Nikki. Are you ready to take the couch?
I mean, it's a little different tonight, but I'm ready, girl.
Okay. I love the background, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, so beautiful. And so we're going to continue our conversation this evening about relationships. Last week, you guys know that I talked to you about what's in a relationship. Tonight, I thought, well, I should do it here on the couch. So I want you guys to all join me on the couch as I talk to you about some very serious themes that surround our personal relationships. I'm talking about personal relationships with boyfriends and girlfriends, significant others, wives and husbands. So certain things have to be discovered while you're dating a person. You don't want to dig too deep too early, but you need to pay attention to the things that the person shows you. We call these things red flags. You've heard me talk about this before. So if you look at my first slide, I talk about the first date question. How aware are you of your traumas and suppressed emotions? And tell me about how you are actively working to heal them before you try to project that shit on me. Because people will project a lot on a person. And that's why we talk about past traumas. We have to talk about these things because at times people have traumas from their childhood, from their relationship with their parents, from relationships that they've had with previous girlfriends and boyfriends. And because they don't talk about it, they suppress it because it is uncomfortable. You then project onto other people. And the projection is subconscious at times. Then there are other times when it's occurring and the person realizes that it's occurring, but they also feel helpless and not being able to avoid that transaction. Next slide. So we're going to talk about what's in a relationship. We know the first thing that's in a relationship is what's on this next slide. And so you are not your past. You got to remember that. All of us have dissatisfying situations we've been a part of or we've experienced. Just don't carry that over into your new situation. The next thing you should remember also, if you've had some childhood traumas, work on those things. If, and by childhood trauma, I mean there may have been some sexual abuse, there may have been some molestation, you may have been touched the wrong way, you might have been verbally and or emotionally and or physically abused. Some people have been neglected. A lot of children grow up in foster care. A lot of children grow up in homes where there's no affection. There aren't any hugs. There's no, kisses and I love yous and people showing genuine interest. The next thing we need to consider as well is that we got to choose to heal. You don't have to stay stuck in your past. Your past is not who you are. Your past doesn't make you. Your past really is there to make you into a bigger and better person. We learn from our past, including the mistakes that we make. So if you're making mistakes, if you've fumbled along the way, don't take it to heart. Don't ball up and die and not want to move on. You have to choose to heal. And then what we see next is there may be some unresolved issues or challenges that we've had in our lives. So this too can influence what you're like in a relationship because you haven't resolved previous issues or previous challenges. What you did instead is, like I told a couple today, you put your head in the sand and you think it'll go away. But that's not what happens. When you're doing the work, you get great results. You have to do the work. Let's see, what do we have next here? So this all came about because I'm always talking about sex and relationships. But this past Sunday, I interviewed this young lady, Shanita James, who is in North Carolina. She wrote a book that's called Not Just Another Pretty Face. It's on Amazon. It's a really quick read, and it's a good read. When I started reading it, I couldn't put it down. And I can't say that about a lot of the books that I've read. I do a lot of audio stuff too. But her book, I started reading it and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this little girl went through this life. She was sexually abused starting at the age of 7 by her mother's boyfriend. Her mother and her father were no longer together. She, her brother, and her sister were living with the mother in poverty. Her mother met this man. He so-called rescued them, took them to his home, which was a trailer in the woods that wasn't that nice. And his whole agenda for moving them in was so that he could abuse Shanita and Shanita's older sister. It's an awful, sad story, but it's worth reading because it reminds us to protect our babies. And when your child may have been exposed to this kind of thing, you have to put them in psychotherapy and you have to have a conversation with them too. Moving forward, you got to have the hard discussion. So this coming Thursday night, which is tomorrow night on my YouTube channel, you'll see the video of our interview. You can listen to it on my podcast from Sunday, the Brain Love Podcast, and you'll also see the visual tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Delvina Thomas. And that's all I have for you, Nikki.
Wow. Okay. That was a really deep a while ago. I'm just trying to take it all in. Okay.
Yeah, I know it was a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. So thank you so much. And we'll see you on the podcast tomorrow. And we'll see you next week here on Soul.
Say brain love.
Brain love. And now on to my next co-host. She's our arts and culture expert. So Miss Carla Hill, happy Hump Wednesday.
Hi, Nikki, and hi, MIA Soul. This is Carla Hill, and this picture by illustrator Megan Hess is just a hint of what I'll be presenting today. That's right, Black fashion designers. Today I'm featuring one of my favorites, Victor Glamaud, and I'll be sharing how you can have your own Victor Glamaud pieces in your closet. Victor Glamaud was born in Haiti in 1978 and moved to the United States at the age of 3. His journey to fashion started in his teen years. While attending the Fashion Institute of Technology, he landed an internship with designer Patrick Robinson that really began the start of his career. Based in New York City, Victor Glamaud is renowned for his kaleidoscope colors and body contouring knits. He's mastered the art of the sexy sweater, knitting wool and cashmere so precisely that his pieces look like they were carefully tailored to their wearer. These are some images from his Resort 2022 line that can go for $300 and upward. Victor Glamaud has brought his designs to the ballet, too. On April 25th of this year, the American Ballet Theatre debuted Lauren Lovett's La Folie Variations in costumes by the leisurewear designer. The colorful collaboration was a part of American Ballet Theatre's Uniting in Movement in Segerstrom Hall, the first performance to take place there since live theater shut down in March of 2020. I have great news for the fashionistas out there. You too can get your hands and own your own Victor Glamaud. The renowned knitwear artist brings a joyful celebration of all people to Target for this limited edition Fall Essentials collection. Victor pairs his love of multicolored stripes and color blocking with thoughtful details to create vibrancy within the everyday for his wearers. The collection is available now on Target.com. This first pink and green ensemble is among my favorites. On the left, you'll find the striped cardigan and the tank top as well as the skirt. Nothing more than $50 each. And that great sweatsuit on the right, the whole ensemble you can get for about $75. This gorgeous women's long sleeve sweater dress can be found at Target in extended sizes as well, because Mr. Glamaud is all about inclusivity on all levels, and this dress is only $55. On the left, this leopard print turtleneck layered pullover sweater is so hot and so on trend, and it's only $40 and comes in extended sizes. The ensemble on the right, the polka dots, I have to tell you, I bought this for myself. It's all about polka dots right now. You can get the tank top, the skirt, the cardigan, nothing over $50 each. Here's another cute ensemble that you can find at Target.com. You know, it's so important that when big retailers like Target and others feature Black designers, that we go out there with our dollars and sell this collection out. It's so important for retailers to know that our dollars are strong and our fashion sense is what has influenced fashion since the beginning of time. I invite you to go to Target.com, look up Victor Glamaud's clothes. The knit is very nice and light. It would be great for South Florida weather, and I would say it's among the best quality. This is Carla Hill for MIA Soul. See you next time.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I am loving the hot pink and the lime green outfit. So thank you very much. I will be at Target.com. And now on to my next co-host. He's a host of Tasty Islands on American Public Television. He's also a personal and private chef, and he has his own show tomorrow, Flavor of South Florida. So Chef Irie, Wagwan, where are you? Happy
What's
Hump.
what's going on, Nikki? How you doing, baby?
I'm
Salute.
good. How are you doing?
You gotta get you a cup with your first. I'm just saying.
I gotta switch it up a little bit, huh? I have the same drink every
Yes,
week. I gotta
put
switch
your
it up.
personalize it. Because
You're
you're
right.
special like that. You know what I'm saying, girl?
I'm gonna look
Shoot.
into that.
Did you go to Carnival this weekend?
No, I didn't go, and I regret not going.
You should
But
have gone, girl.
I saw your
Cause look
stories,
here,
though. I saw your
Juve, baby. Ah! Yeah, look here, man. I was having the time of my life. Yeah, but as you age, when you after you've partied for the weekend, your body like, man, I feel brought down, pop down. But hey, look here. That's all right, because I hear it's 5 o'clock somewhere every day, right? So we are coming to the end of Hispanic Heritage Month, and I did promise that I was going to highlight, other than food, some cocktails. So some cocktails that are representative of, I guess, Latin and Hispanic American culture and countries. So yeah, and I will tell you what I'm drinking later as well. So we're gonna kick it off first. The first up, baby, we're just gonna hit you hard, man. Mojitos, baby. If you haven't had a mojito, trust me, especially a mojito that's made well. You right? So sometimes it can be a little too limey. Sometimes it ain't got enough rum. Sometimes the mint ain't muddled out. It's not got enough sugar. So it's got to be just right. That mojito coming from Cuba, baby. Yes. And nowadays, you can have all kind of specialty mojitos. Mango mojito, raspberry mojito, blueberry mojito, watermelon mojito. Oh, my God. It is so many mojitos out there. But the original classic, rum, white rum, Bacardi usually, lime mint, and a little club soda. Yes, boom. But everything needs to be fresh. All right, boom. Who we got next? We got I spoke about this the other day at the end of one of the shows, Cuba Libre, and it is it's one of the simplest cocktails ever. It is Coke, rum, and Coke. That's all it is, baby. Oh. But you can add a little lime, whether it's a little lime juice or just a wedge of lime. But it's one of the simplest cocktails ever made. Came out of Cuba back in the early 1900s, and Coke started distributing stuff, Coca-Cola products there, and in some bar, they got rum, and somebody say, "Hey, put some rum and some Coke together." And guess what? Cuba Libre. So this was right at the end of the Spanish-American War. So, the whole Libre thing, Cuba Libre, free Cuba, that was the mantra back then as they were battling. So Cuba Libre, rum and Coke. Yeah, get it. Yes, make sure it's good. Yes, so now we go all the way down to Peru, baby. Have you ever had a pisco sour?
Have I?
Oh, have you? Yes, you have. I can hear that. Yes, you have, girl. Yes, and a pisco sour. So this drink, so you got to make sure that the people who are making this thing for you, they got their stuff on point, right? Because it's made with egg whites. So you want to make sure that, these people are on the up and up. They got fresh products. You don't want to mess with eggs, so the eggs need to be nice and fresh, all that good stuff. So it's made with egg whites, pisco, hence the name pisco, and of course lime juice, and some sweeteners, yes. And then after it's mixed with all of that ingredients without ice, so you can get that froth, and then you mix it again with, shake it again with ice to get it chilled. Serve it in a glass. Boom, the froth comes up on the top, and you add a little Angostura bitters on the top for garnish. Boom, it's so delicious. Yes, people, go get you a pisco sour. Yes, from Peru. All right, who we got next? Yeah, come on, baby. So we got the chouflé.
Oh.
And this is a really, it's an interesting, dish. Give me a dish. Cocktail. Chouflé, baby. Chouflé. Yes. And where's your chouflé from again? I can't remember. It's with the Singani brandy, which is a distilled spirit from Bolivia. It's distilled from grapes, actually. And this is real simple. It's the Singani brandy mixed with ginger ale and a little lime. Boom. How simple is that? But I don't know if we get Singani here in the States. But if anybody out there is traveling to Bolivia and would like to bring us some so we can try it, I'm all for it. Yes.
I was
So
going to ask, where can we get that from? I was like, I've never heard of that before.
The Singani brandy? I don't know. Maybe it's, specialty stores. Definitely, you can get everything off online these days, because if you have a distributor here that sells Bolivian products, hey, guess what? You can get you some Singani brandy too. Hey, I'm just saying. And of course, you go over there to Puerto Rico, baby, and you're going to have you pina colada. Yes. So you on the beach and you're chilling. Yeah, you know what? Nothing too crazy. Pina colada with some pineapple and coconut cream. Boom. I'm just saying, hey, this is the perfect vacation drink. You walk around like you're drinking big time, but you're just drinking a lot of sugar.
Basically.
That's all right. But Puerto Rico, when we come, we're going to have us some Pina colada. Yes. All right. And of course, you can't have, some, beverage or cocktail without mentioning from the Hispanic culture, sangria. And sangria from Spain. And, so sangria basically comes in two colors, red or white. All right. Red or white. But you don't necessarily want to use really old, aged wine. You want to use younger wines to make your sangria. And of course, it's not always, needed, but the wine and maybe another spirit. So usually Grand Marnier or Cointreau. And of course, fruits, some sweetener, a little soda to top it off. Boom, you can garnish it with some mint. And of course, the white sangria, obviously you're using white. You want to keep everything clear. So peaches, apples, nothing that's going to discolor it too much, so it doesn't look white So sangria. And what am I drinking here? So this is one of the weirdest things I've ever, it's red wine and Coca-Cola. Red wine and Coca-Cola.
I've never heard of that before.
I've never heard of it before. And I said, I had to try it. So this drink is from, I think, the area of Chile and Argentina. And it's called Jote. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Jote. And why is it called Jote? Because Jote is the vulture. Red and the vulture, red and black. We got John Crane in Jamaica.
Yes.
So it's named after the vulture and the red and dark color of the drink. So they call it Jote.
Oh.
Red wine and Coca-Cola, baby.
Salud.
Salud. So, yes, and of course, yes, the show tomorrow. Yes, we are going to be over at Awash, Ethiopian restaurant in North Miami. Yes, not everything. Not everything is vegan or vegetarian. But I want some meat. I'm going to get some meat. Yes, but I can't wait to tear into that injera bread, baby. Hey,
I think that was some shady through a while ago, but it's all good. And as vegan, vegetarian Ethiopian food, by the way. Okay, so I'm gonna be speaking your stories and you see your show tomorrow.
Some good vegan food too. I eat some good vegan food too, and I cook good vegan food too. Trust me, I do.
I'm sure you do. Okay, all right, Chef. So thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow night, and we'll see you on Soul next Wednesday.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and this is such a great segue. I gotta start by saying, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. So our featured guest tonight, he is the genius behind Ingenious Gin, okay? So Reggie and it's Bienami, thank you so much for being our guest tonight. And did I butcher your last name or did I say it right?
No, you was on point. You was on point. I love it.
Okay. So this is a great segue. We just spoke about different drinks from different countries, and it's Hispanic Heritage Month. And now you are the genius behind Ingenious Gin. So,
yes. So when when Chef Ireie was speaking, he got me a little jealous. I wish he was mixing something with this Ingenious. He was just like talking about all the Spanish heritage. It was beautiful, but yeah, absolutely.
We can make it happen. We'll make that happen.
Okay.
With Ingenious Gin.
Right.
Yes. So,
Yes, man. I appreciate
so let's
that.
get into it. So, how did you get into the gin industry?
So I got into the gin industry because I just, my opinion, I felt like there wasn't a good gin out there, and it was a good way to corner the market and do something different. This is not your regular granddaddy, moonshine back in the, will prohibition type of gin that is real strong that you can't really taste a sip. This one is really delicious on the palate, and we did something fantastic with it.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so let's kind of backtrack a little bit. So, did you grow? Okay, so when you became of age, was gin your
Yes.
spirit of choice, or like why?
No, actually, when I first drank, so when I first started drinking, I did drink gin. That was my first drink of choice. Actually, one of the old heads back in the ship when I was in the military in the Navy, he was like, "Come on, young blood, let's go out there, let's go drink." And so I was like, "All right, cool." So the first thing he pulled out was, I can't tell you what the gin was. All right, all right. But I'll give you a hint. Start with a T. But we were out there and we was drinking. Oh man, I had the worst hangover, headache, throwing up, all those. I was like, why people drink this? But but I just know it was thing for camaraderie between people, and it lowers inhibitions, and you have great conversations, and it's just not just the drink and get messed up. It helps. Libation helps with a lot of things.
It's therapeutic for the body and the mind and the soul.
Exactly. Yes, and it's good for you too. If anything could be good for alcohol, it'd be good for you. Gluten free and all this other
vitamins and
good stuff.
everything, antioxidants, all of that.
It's gluten free. It got some botanicals that are really good for you. Mainly hibiscus, lavender, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. So yeah, absolutely.
So what's
Absolutely.
behind the name Ingenious Gin?
So good question. When we thought of the concept, we wanted to do something different. We wanted to do something that stood out. So we did an intelligent spin on the original gin. And that's why we called it Ingenious, because we did use Black ingenuity and everything behind it that propels everything forward.
Okay, so and also like it's the color is purple, obviously. So why and the color purple is such a cliche because of the movie, but why the color purple for the brand?
The color purple, of course, royalty. When you think of purple, you think of rich, you think of royalty. Most people favorite colors, that type of situation.
Okay.
We did everything. Like the color of the inside is not a white, a cliche, like a white clear type of liquor. It was by design. We wanted to capture dark drinkers as well, whiskey, cognac, all that, because sometimes when hard-headed dark drinkers be like, "Oh, I don't drink white, I drink dark."
Yeah.
Well, this is not white. So but it's by design. It's infused with hibiscus, lavender, and juniper, and they really counteract. And there's some other secret undertones. Everything is natural, no artificial coloring or flavoring, I may add. And all that stuff counteracts, and it makes a natural rose gold color.
Oh, so it's rose gold. Oh my God.
Yes.
I can't wait to try it.
Ooh,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's 2021, and
Yes.
okay, so I'm not a gin drinker, but I am getting into gin. I'm more of a tequila
Okay.
connoisseur, but I'm beginning to expand my palates per se.
Yes.
And I see there's a lot of Black and brown people now gaining market share within the spirits industry. So, so being one of the fewer Black owned spirit brand and companies, what has your journey been like, especially being a man of color?
That's a great question. Of course, the stigma behind a lot of these things about just being of a different color. You want to debunk those situations. When you walk in the room, you're not considered a help anymore. You consider an owner now. You know what I mean? So that journey has been kind of it's rewarding, definitely. It's been difficult in certain aspects of it, but it's been rewarding when you get past those difficult aspects of the whole industry.
Okay, and what year? So what year was Ingenious Gin established?
So this is in November is going to be 3 years, our 3-year anniversary.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we're still baby infancy, but we have a lot of great traction, a lot of great networking. I mean, there's a lot of great buzz going around, especially in Miami and DMV area.
Yeah. Okay. So we were talking earlier. So as far as your distribution centers and I guess the distillery, where are they located? Because I know you're in Virginia, but the company's based in Florida. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So yes, Florida is a great place to make a lot of things. We have a lot of great natural products. Not mixed with a lot of chemicals out there and everything. So it was by design to keep that base down in Florida. I'm from Miami, Florida originally. But the last place I left when I got out of the military was DC and Virginia area. So I naturally stayed. But I wanted to get into one of the hardest states to get in as well, which is Virginia. Virginia is a Commonwealth state. As you know, it's not like Florida. Florida is wide open. We can do whatever out there. But Virginia is very systematic. Like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. And just going through those challenges and everything, it makes us understand that we in a right market and it's the right niche for us.
Right. So, okay. So you mentioned the military, and I kind of want you to kind of elaborate more on that. So you're a veteran.
I am.
And you're
so
back.
I'm a.
Go ahead.
You said what?
So you're a veteran. So you were in the military, and that perhaps set the foundation and the inception of Ingenious Gin. So tell us more about your background being in the military and how that kind of birthed Ingenious Gin.
Absolutely. So, yes, former Navy corpsman, hospital corpsman. That's like a medic or working with the hospital units in all branches in the military. Was in the military for over a decade, and then that actually honed my skills to learning different trades, and I became a lab technician. And then when I got out the military, I became got my degree in lab science and continued on. Going back when I was in the military, just going to different countries and different areas and regions, and just not finding great tasting alcohol, and specifically not a great tasting gin. You can find a good vodka, you can find a good brandy, cognac everywhere. They're a dime a dozen, but when it comes to the actual old school gin, I wanted to bring the resurgence and the renaissance back. I think that would be a great situation to propel us to move forward, to know that, when you use Black ingenuity in anything, the sky's the limit.
No, definitely. And okay, so I kind of like envisioned you like in a white chemistry lab,
yes,
kind of with the goggles and your formulas and everything. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm not just a pretty smile. I'm a nerd too.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, that's why it's called Ingenious. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So what makes Ingenious Gin different than the other ones? Well, you mentioned a while ago that you couldn't find a good quality gin. So what makes this one the high quality and the value in Ingenious Gin?
So that's another great question. The taste, it separates us from a lot. It's not your typical London dry where you smell the pine needles and Christmas tree that you're, think you got Christmas in your mouth every time you drink a gin that's very strong. This one is an old time style, one of the oldest ways you can make a gin. And gin is one of the oldest liquors, if not the oldest liquor to make. So that's why I said the resurgence of the Renaissance, or rebirth, if you will, and remix of this gin. And it's brown and the rose golden color. I apologize. And then you got everything we put in there is high quality, taste, touch, smell, feel. The label's a silk feel. On the back, you can see veteran owned and operated.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we did everything. And when you smell it, it smells like a bouquet. Oh my God, it's a delicious smell, and oh yeah, it's like you catching a bouquet at the wedding.
Oh my God, can I
Fresh.
get to get my hands on that bouquet? No, no,
Oh,
no.
say good lady.
Okay,
And then
anyway.
and not just me saying it, I'm just saying that Cosmo magazine actually it ranked us last year as one of the top 18 gin brands you should put in your next gin and tonic, and we were ranked number 2 out of
Woo!
18 over Bombay, over Tanqueray, over Hendrix, over you can name them, we over them.
And 3 years in, that's awesome. Congrats on that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
So,
so much.
any plans on including like other spirits like tequila or vodka? Maybe I'm asking too soon, but any plans to expand?
Absolutely. We actually put it on our website, so when people ask us all the time, because the gin is so delicious, so good, they can't wait to try anything else that we make. So there are things in the works. Yes, I can't disclose everything, but we're talking about maybe a possibly different flavor of the gin, adding something tropical, or we can expand on the different spirits in the industry.
Yeah, that's such a great spin. Okay, so I'm a gin virgin, if you want to say that. And the thing is,
Okay.
I've heard of gin with different flavors. So does that like exist right now, or because it's normally just one flat taste, right?
Right. So it's basically just botanicals. But you can play around with so many of the botanicals that you can create another flavor type situation, if that makes any sense. Different botanicals produce different elements where you can, taste more citrus, more of a, embodied of a strong kind of brandy situation. So like you could do so many things in the spirit industry. So we just want to tap those untapped potential markets.
So you'll be the pioneer of it, of that untapped
And
market.
I'm here to blaze that trail.
So okay, so where can we find Ingenious Gin?
Oh, so you could find it in Total Wines, ABC stores, all the local liquor stores. You could actually get off our website, ingeniousgin.com. We deliver it straight to your doorstep. We do have a traditional and a non-traditional distribution, so we're able to do those type of things. And if you can't find it in your local store, please ask for it by name. We need that support. Just like Miss Carla Hill said, those dollars help the lifeline of a business. Those black dollars, those dollars that are superior, let's say, in the markets. You know what I mean? Because we invest in a lot. That dollar.
All right, y'all heard. We have to support. Okay, so again, we can go to the website. We can go to Total Wine as well and mention Ingenious Gin, correct? And they can place the order and ship directly to
Absolutely.
our homes.
Absolutely. And then they can get it into their warehouses and stock it up. But as of right now as well, we are featured online. You just order online from us and we ship it to you straight to your doorstep.
Okay. So now, last question. What would you tell your younger self, and how old would you be?
Oh, wow. That is a great question. Oh, wow. I know you probably stump a lot of people with that. I know it.
I sure do.
Let me see. Yeah. So I would probably be in my about 24, 25. That means, because you're a little bit more mature now. Just straight 18 out of high school, you really still wet behind the ears and, just green, what they call it, just a novice, if you will. You still try to find yourself. But when you're in the 24, 25 year range, you're there, you kind of matured, you know what you want to do, you want to focus. So what I would say is foster meaningful relationships, not just any relationship, meaningful relationships, because meaningful relationships are better than currency. If you understand what I mean, because money is cool, money is a tool, but those meaningful relationships will last a long time and a lifetime.
Wow. No, and I can definitely attest to that as well because yeah, it makes sense. And you never know where that relationship can elevate, I guess your status or your current situation. So you're
For
right. I
sure,
mean,
for sure.
there's networking and there's social climbing and then there's relationships from that. So definitely.
Exactly. I wouldn't be on this call today with those relationships. Now with you, Nikki, with Chef Irie, you got Carla Hill, we got Dr. Thomas. You got legends in the game.
Yeah.
Superior. In your field, and I'm just climbing that ladder to make it to where you guys are, to make it superior in my field as well. So and those relationships help foster what we're trying to do with expansion. We're open for investments and stuff like that, to help scale and other things of that nature.
Right, right. Yeah. So we have to unite and support each other and come together. And again, we don't see a lot of us in the industry that you're in. So it's really applaudable
Absolutely.
and admirable. So congrats again. And I'm gonna
Oh,
order
thank you.
my lavender rose
Please.
bottle tonight.
It'll change your life, girl.
I
I'm
believe
telling
you.
you right now. That flavor, you know how it's Crackback said, the flavor in your ear, there's a flavor in your mouth.
It's smooth. It's smooth. I was gonna trickle it
Smooth,
on
smooth,
down.
smooth.
Okay.
Smooth, girl.
Well, Reggie, thank you so much. Again, congratulations. And we'll see you on
Yes,
Instagram,
thank you.
the wine, everything. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
And yeah, thanks again for being our guest tonight.
Have us on all please follow us on all social media platforms, Ingenious_Jen on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Ingenious Jen, the Jen of Thinkers.
Yes, also scrolling at the bottom as well. So if you look at the bottom, there's a website as well, ingeniousgen.com. And I'm sure we can find your handles on the website too. So thanks again, and you have a wonderful night.
All right, you as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And please watch our MIA Media Group shows as follows. So Mondays is The Business of Black Business at 1 p.m. with Jay Reynolds. Tuesday is My Money, Your Money at 7 p.m. with Bridget Lumpkins. Wednesday is So with me, Nikki G, and Dr. Delvina, Miss Carla Hill, and Chef Irie. And then Thursdays is Lunch with Legacy Leaders at 12 noon with Anne-Marie Serral, and then Flavor of South Florida at 7 p.m. with Chef Irie. So thank you so much for being our audience tonight. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week, Wednesday. Bye.